What's up, everybody? We're back. It's another edition of 95X Live. And today I have the pleasure of chatting with Tyler Williams, drummer of The Head and the Heart. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to do this today.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
It's awesome to reconnect. You've got a new album on the way called Aperture, available everywhere May 9th. We've already gotten the single Arrow, which has made its rise up the charts. Absolutely adore the track. And we got a new single out now called After the Setting Sun, which is also absolutely brilliant, in my opinion. I'd also like to mention that there's a secondary version of Arrow that has Mount Joy on it, that is part of a wildlife relief fundraiser, which is pretty great. I really appreciate how open-minded you guys are to helping in situations. And I know that those West Coast fires do have some effect on the Pacific Northwest as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, LA is like a second home to us. So any way that we could help out, Mount Joy, a lot of them live in LA. So it was kismet to team up with them.
Absolutely. So this album marks the first time that you guys have gone back to the self-produced methodology of doing things since the first album back in 2011. And there seems to be a sense of freedom with this new batch of songs that I don't want to say hasn't existed in the past, but it almost feels like the reins were taken off, or you guys kind of wiggled out from underneath the thumb of doom. Can you speak to how this process was different from the last few albums?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think as your career progresses or as you keep making music for long enough, there are people that kind of surround themselves around you who want to have a outsized opinion, right, in what you're doing. And I think this record, we were just kind of looking around and we were like, why are we listening to these people? So I think, yeah, it was just like a little bit of like a freedom thing. We needed to get out, we needed to change our situation and get back to what the six of us actually wanted. And that was not perfection. We don't want to try to perfect the tones on a record or make something that feels nice because it streams more or something. I think we really wanted to get back to creating music that fulfilled us and hopefully could connect with other people and make them feel like what we're going through is worth listening to. Um, and that, yeah, it was a tough process for sure. You know.
Absolutely. There's an organic nature to these two new songs that I think was not necessarily lacking, but anybody who's seen The Head and the Heart live understands how truly organic the band is and how the art sort of evolves. I mean, just looking back at the early material and comparing it to now, there's the essence of The Head and the Heart in all of it. But one of my favorite things about the last decade and a half is watching you guys grow and evolve from album to album. And I think at this point, you guys are on a course to really truly become who The Head and the Heart envisioned themselves as in the early days.
Yeah, I just got goosebumps because that's what it feels like. I think, we've gone through a lot as a band. We lost a member to a drug addiction issue, and that took its toll on our confidence a little bit, and you have to find new ways to move forward. And it was fun to experiment with different sounds and work with different producers. But we also got to the place where we just wanted to be ourselves, and I think it was really an uprooting of our entire kind of structure of the people that we put around us, to get to the place where we could freely create again in a way that does feel raw and organic and authentic to who we are.
Absolutely. And I think that given the nature of The Head and the Heart being a six-piece collaborative, essentially you're in the business of creating art. And sometimes when there are too many outside sources that have an opinion or a finger in the mix, so to speak, you lose a little bit of that authenticity and the initial sort of gist
Yeah.
of the art.
Yeah, and I think for a band who, we became known because we self-produced a record, and we wrote all our own songs, and it was very DIY in the beginning. And so I think, if you're a band that comes out and you're working with Rick Rubin on your debut, you might be in a different boat, right? But I think what people connect with this band for is our perspectives, and they want to hear that unfiltered. And I think this record is all about that. A lot of the songs were written and then recorded in the same like session. So there's a lot of spontaneity and freshness to it, and yeah, rawness. There's no, we weren't being perfectionists, and I think that that's where we really find our magic.
Love that. My favorite quote that I've read thus far about the album comes from your bandmate Maddie. And he says it's about choosing hope again and again, no matter how many times it may feel that you've lost it. And I think that sums up your journey. I think it also sums up where we are as a society in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And it makes me anticipate this new album so much. And the other thing that makes me really look forward to this album is I've heard that you sing lead on a song called Cop Car that will be a part of the new album Aperture, available everywhere in May.
Yeah, it's true. That was one of those songs that we basically had never played together before. We didn't really even discuss the structure or the chords of the song. We kind of like hit record and then played for 3 minutes, and we stopped and we were like, well, that felt good. And then John went in and ad-libbed this amazing vocal on top of it. And so we just spent the next 6 hours like kind of saying, yeah, and what? What now? What else can we add? And I had this part, and it just felt natural to get in the booth, which I had never done before. But that was sort of that's the ethos around this record, you know. Like Kenny, our piano player, he wrote lyrics to an entire song and sang on that song as well. Um, and so it's like it's all about freedom, right? This record feels like it's about freedom, and it's about reclaiming, you know, what's rightfully yours, I think. And that's our agency to do what we want to do with our music.
Absolutely. I think it speaks to who you all are as people as well, because I've had a chance to interact with you guys when you've been up in upstate New York, and the reverence that you treat your fans with in meet and greets and the VIP, the way that you interact with the audience from the crowd, I think speaks to who you all are as people, which are genuine, down to earth, and truly amazing at heart.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, I think it's kind of everything with us. Like if we aren't being authentically, who we are, if we're trying to do something because it's cool, like treat our fans like we're too cool for them, or treat our music as if it needs to be cooler than what we actually create, the six of us, we never find that it works. Like we have to be ourselves, which may not be, what's du jour, it's in like popular today, but we always have to do that. And when we stray from that path, fans notice.
Absolutely. And it speaks really well to, I think, the authenticity of who the head and the heart are. So, congratulations on being a rare breed in that regard. And it is a fresh breath in our industry these days.
Thank
With
you.
the album coming out in May, you're also kicking off a tour that stops at Central Park's Summer Stage.
Yeah.
In talking to a lot of artists over the years, that seems to live in that rarefied air of places like Red Rocks, because it's not a typical concert venue. I mean, so many legendary shows. The one that obviously pops to mind is Simon and Garfunkel. How
Yeah.
does it feel knowing that you're A, going on tour to support this brilliant new piece of art, but B, how does it feel to know you're going to be playing that legendary stage in New York City?
I mean, you grow up seeing like Paul Simon, video of him playing there, and just epic, epic concerts that have happened. And obviously, New York City is, I don't know what, the center of the universe. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's an epic honor to be able to play there and to feel like people are coming and yeah, like entering that space. It's like hallowed ground in New York City. So we can't wait.
Very cool. The last thing I want to mention before I let you go, and I think this is great, we talked about it last time we spoke as well. Every ticket sold from this entire tour will give $1 to the Rivers and Roads Foundation, which is something that you guys, as the head and the heart, set up. It raises money for local Seattle-based music programs and initiatives. It has an emphasis on equitable access to music education and mental health resources, along with support for musicians. And I think that's amazing for you guys to do. I think that there are a lot of musicians out there that desperately need something like this. And the fact that you guys are supporting your hometown area, to me, again, speaks volumes about who you guys are as people and artists. And it shows that you guys truly have one of the biggest hearts, no pun intended, in the music industry.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's always been a goal of ours to give back to the community that brought us up. I think Seattle, it's, across the country from Syracuse, but it's been such a big cultural driver. That city needs to be known for music, and to help the next generation bring that up is, I think that's super important.
So as we wind things down, I just want to say thank you again to Tyler and congratulations on the success of Arrow and what is to come with the new album, Aperture, available everywhere May 9th. Tyler, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Can't wait to get back to Syracuse. Appreciate it.